Giuseppe Cristiano started out in Caserta, a province north of Naples, passed through France and then ended up in Stockholm for many years, using that as a base and moving around Europe. He went on to spend a few stints in Los Angeles and recently returned to Italy. He continues to work all over the world. A storyboard is a sequence of sketches designed to show how a movie or advertisement will progress. Simply put, a storyboard is a pre-visualization of the film. Storyboards vary in detail depending on what function the board will serve. They can provide technical details or simple description. As an example, usually just keyframes without technical details are used when presenting an idea to a client. But detailed boards would be used by directors during film production. A good storyboard artist knows the details that are important for the storyboard's purpose, and which ones make the frame too busy and difficult to read. A storyboard may be sketched in black and white or in color. Every storyboard serves a main function, and the same board may also have some sub-functions. The storyboard may be used to estimate the post-production costs or to coordinate the special effects and stunts. Storyboards come to the rescue to test an idea, troubleshoot any potential problems in filming, and display the progression of the work in order to keep the client at ease about the schedule. When the discussions about alternate solutions to tell the story in the best possible way arise, the storyboard is there to help show possible solutions. The storyboard is a workhorse that arrives on the job before the filming starts and stays on through production and post-production duties. It sells ideas to clients, attracts investors, and tests films prior to the shooting of the film. Often, the storyboard is considered to be a budget planner and scheduler. When you think of it, much is accomplished with a set of illustrations. But it must also be considered that behind every storyboard is an artist that contributes ideas, solutions, and inspiration. The artist's job is not as simple as just drawing some images. So what is a storyboard?
Storyboard is a pre-visualization of a project, whether it's a film, a game, a TV commercial, an event. Is a way to foresee what the production needs and how it's going to be filmed.
Why is it wrong to consider a storyboard a comic strip?
For many reasons, really. That's a common mistake. Sometimes producers would say, oh, it's a comic strip of a script, which is not, absolutely not. That is because comics and storyboards are two different media altogether. For many reasons, the way the story is told, the way the story is framed. In comics you have different size, different format. And also the way you place the camera. In a comic books you don't have any limitation, but on a film, on a project like a commercial, you have many limitations. You often don't even have the budget for certain equipment. So the storyboard gives you a better planning for what you have at disposal.
How important is the work of a storyboard artist?
Very important. In a production, you will have to foresee all the problems, and the storyboard artist is the only one at that point of production, in the pre-production, that can help you with that. Not always the script is final, even if it says it's final. Once you have the script and you start working with it, you will find that there are probably some problems with the scenes, some plot holes, and dialogues that you can remove and situation you can combine. And at that point, it's very simple. We sit in a room, me and a director, or a storyboard artist and a director, and they go through the script. They will find those problems, they will solve it, and then the project is ready for filming.
Who needs storyboards? Who are your potential clients?
There are different roles in a production, and they all require storyboards for a different purpose. The producer would just need to calculate cost and see how long time it would take. So he would need the storyboard also if he's looking for funding, new product placement, or anything that regards the budget. The directors is mostly looking for the technical parts and how he can communicate with the crew in order to achieve the shot and to achieve the vision that he has in his head. And the clients in advertising needs to see the project before they actually start spending money for it.
What are the different methods depending on the purpose of the storyboard?
Well, there can be many. They can be all different. For example, they have to shoot a certain scene in a special location where they need a permit. So what I have to draw is actually what's going to happen that day, so that, for example, the major office, the police would know which road they have to close and how long time we're going to be there shooting. And yes, the methods, I try to put myself in the position of the one that's going to use the storyboard.
What advice would you give to someone starting out as an artist?
Well, watch a lot of movies, read magazines, films, try to get yourself up to date with everything, and draw. Draw a lot, all the time.
Directors often rely on you to come up with solutions on the fly. How do you do that?
Well, with experience, and I've done this for many, many years, over 25, something like that. I watch a lot of movies, I read a lot, so I think some of this solution come natural. I pick up something that I've seen somewhere, but most importantly, I need to understand what the director vision is. So I read the script, I know the story. It's a sort of method storyboarding, if you will. Once I know the intention of the director, his vision, then I can work things out and put together the puzzle.
So how did you get started?
Since I was a kid, I always drew. I always had paper and pen with me. And whenever I was reading a book or watching movies, I had this urge to visualize them. So in a way, I always drew storyboard without knowing it. And then I got into comics, and later on I discovered this profession by chance, and I got really into it because it was taking me closer to movies, which was a real big passion for me.
Analog or digital? Which do you prefer?
Well, a little bit of both, really. These days I work a lot digital because it gives me much freedom, and I'm much faster. I can do revisions on the fly. I can deliver real quick around the clock if it's needed, which is always the case. Otherwise, I work on paper when I do things for myself, when I have more time, when I want to experiment and use different tools. I try everything that comes out on the market, really. I like to get up to date also with the technique and all available tablets and so forth.
What do directors, producers, and creatives want from an artist?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. They want an artist always available, and they want everything as soon as possible.
How do you keep the expectations of the producer or the director from getting out of hand?
Well, you got to tell them what you can and what you can't do. Otherwise, you find yourself cornered in an impossible task.
How do you balance the intensity of your work with your family life?
Oh, that's a very difficult task sometimes because jobs can come at any minute and unexpectedly. And of course, they're always in a hurry. So you got to be a little multitasking and trying to do several things at the same time. Sometimes I buy time by anticipating what they want from me, by reading the script. I prepare already the material, and you go from there. But some days are not that busy. Then I take a chance to do something with my family, so we balance things out that way.
What inspires you?
Oh, a lot of things. Comics, movies, books. There are a lot of great artists out there that I like. I still buy sketchbooks. I'm hungry for pictures.
So what skills do you need to be a storyboard artist?
Well, you need to be really fast in your sketches. You need to be able to actually draw what the director tells you right there. Draw on demand. And you got to watch a lot of movies to understand the different directors' vision, styles, cinematography, and draw. You got to draw a lot. Keep drawing. This is my film library, at least a part of it. I count about 20,000 titles, more or less, and I have sort of all kind. Blu-ray, DVDs, VHS. Yes, I do have a VHS player. Many of these movies, in fact, I mean, you don't find them on DVDs, they're still untraceable. Why do I have that many is because I like movies. So when I'm on a job and a director mentions a certain movie by a certain director, I get curious. So I start searching, I do research, and I go and watch the older movies. I just go very deep into it. And therefore I end up with thousands and thousands of movies all around me because I can't stop. But it's also very useful for me because watching movies, I get ideas, and when I sit with a director, I can refer to certain scenes, and together we can work out something out of an ideas that we have seen somewhere else. And it's very also useful for directors because then we can relax and talk about everything else than the actual job we're doing. I have been collecting movies for over 20 years or more, and I don't think I can ever stop.
Hur känns det att bo ihop med en artist som Peppe?
Det är roligt. Vi har många intressen tillsammans. Vi älskar att titta på film. Vi tycker om att prata, diskutera saker. Vi älskar att resa. En gång var vi i USA och där fick jag skaka hand med Gene Simmons i Malibu. Och sen har jag fått träffa massa andra kändisar som jag kanske inte hade gjort om jag inte hade varit med honom. Så det är kul.
Hur brukar er dag se ut vanligtvis?
Intensiva perioder så tar han en kaffe på morgonen och sen springer han ner och sen ser honom knappt. Han kommer upp ibland för att ta en salamimacka eller någonting. Och sen så hinner han leka lite med Jonathan innan Jonathan går och lägger sig. Sen så, om man inte har jättemycket så kan vi kolla på en film. Annars sitter han och jobbar och ibland så, det går vi inte ens att lägga oss samtidigt för att jag vet inte ens när han går och lägger sig. Och sen så ibland om det är en lugn dag, ja då har vi kanske tar bilen och åker ut och äter lunch någonstans. Hämtar Jonathan tidigt. Vi tycker om att åka till havet.
Kan det vara svårt ibland att Peppe jobbar hemma hela dagarna?
Det kan vara lite svårt om han har möten och Jonathan är väldigt ljudlig. Det är faktiskt ganska jobbigt när directors och producer inte respekterar helg eller kvällar. De kommer ibland på en fredag och så vill ha ett jättestort jobb klart på måndag. Men det är ju då vi skulle ha haft tid.
Men det kan ibland vara positiva aspekter på att han bor och jobbar hemma.
Absolut, jag ser honom mycket mer än jag skulle se om han hade haft ett vanligt jobb. Som, ibland får man ju en hel dag. Vi kan åka till havet. Vi hittar på saker, vi upptäcker grejer.
This is my first book, Analyzing Storyboard. I wrote it in '98, and at the time I was working with an animation company, and occasionally I was doing classes in different schools. And suddenly the students start asking me if they could read about storyboards somewhere. And I did some researches and couldn't find anything. And so then I decided to write one myself. Recently, I published 2 books in Italy, Il Visualizer and Storyboard. These are currently the only professional storyboard manuals available in Italy, and that for me is a big achievement. I've got more than 20,000 films, hundreds of books, thousands of records between CDs and vinyls, about 30 guitars and basses, synths, effects, keyboards, amplifiers. This is my distress. To draw is not just a job for me, it's also fun. I draw at least 1 illustration a day, despite all the work that I have on my desk. I need that to relax, to take things off my head, to escape maybe a tedious job for a moment, to step out of boredom. Movies has always been a big passion. I subscribe to several magazines to be up to date, not just about movies, but also about technique, tools, and business. It's important that I know what's going on in the industry, but also what is the latest trend, what is the latest machine out, and what movies are popular, what are the TV series that everybody's talking about. And of course, when we end up in meetings, when we are on the job, 50% of the time we talk about all this stuff. Directors really like to get, to exchange all these things with other people. To watch movies is very useful for me, to get ideas, to know what's going on, latest trends, influences, TV series, learn style, but it's also extremely relaxing. In fact, after a long day, I might be sitting 12 hours, 14 hours at my desk, I still need to watch a movie to relax. I can't just go to bed, I need to land. And music also plays a big part in my work. In my studio, I always play music. I prepare the CDs. I want to listen depending on the job that I have, but I also pile them up so that I don't have to leave the desk and look for something else. I prepare everything so that I can just go full immersion on the job. And sometimes the music are related to what I'm drawing, or sometimes I choose them to make me work faster. There are directors that sometimes suggest even the kind of music they want to use in the film. So they send me files and I go on listening to that to get into the mood. In my garage I have a rehearsal room ready, fully equipped with mixer, drum amplifiers, just to get some little action. Sometimes I call my friends over, we jam a little, and we do some music. Music has always been my biggest passion. The pigs. This little pig is very special to me. I always bring it wherever I go, especially when I travel. I post photos on my socials, and he has a name. His name is Lilla Grisen, which in Swedish means little pig, piglet. It's my mascot. It comes where I go. I think I'm blessed because at the end I do what I like and what I always wanted to do.
Hej!